What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Civilization 5 European Conquest AI only game. We continue. If we hopefully we'll get some action in this one. If not, I think we might take it towards the highlights. We'll hit 350. That seems like a good point to then go into, me showing you what happens every 50 turns, for as far as we can go, that sort of thing. That makes sense in my mind, especially if we sort of don't get anything in this episode. I'm sure you guys may agree. If you want to, find the right balance, as always, I think that works. Obviously, let me know. But yeah, I think if we don't get anything sort of major breakout here, and we just get slow progress in some of the things we do have going on. But we'll see. We've seen a few Rome going back in on Morocco, and Russia as well. Russia not being so big, but it means some others might join in the next few turns, so we'll keep an eye on that. Particularly keep an eye on if Spain was to join against Morocco. I think that would really test Morocco. I was going to say if Syria joined in, but they're already in, just handling it fairly awkwardly. I mean, they have so many boats, I feel like they could do a better job, but I guess if you're just taking the coastal cities, Morocco's always going to keep coming back in. With the land units, it is not going to be particularly easy. International Space Station is 50% built. There we go. Someone's about to get some nice bonuses. I imagine it'll probably be done in about 2 turns because they've all got a ridiculous amount of production. Particularly those civs that are not currently embroiled in. Okay, Assyria. That's a little different, putting that off the coast of Morocco. That's a threat and a half. That's a let us take these cities or back off sort of statement right there. We'll see what they do. Morocco does have a small air force of their own, but yeah, they don't have anything that could take those out. And there's an atomic bomb here as well, right on that aircraft carrier. They're making it known. Making their presence known here. I'm sure they wouldn't use them. Well, is there even more here, or are these just carriers? Couple of fighters, bomber, but there is 2 more off this city's coast. Rome has one there as well. We'll see if they end up using theirs. They have a lot more units here this time, and they have XCOM squads, which maybe gives them a bit more capability to deal with these things. Oh, Morocco does have one. They just got it, but there you go, they do have one. Still no progress. In fact, if Poland makes a comeback, that would be interesting. We'll see if it happens. It could happen. I mean, this city was where Russia, they had this at the start of last episode, so it would be backwards progress, I guess, if Poland retook this one and this one potentially. That would be incredible. And they retook this one last time. Maybe they are turning it around. I mean, look, this is all empty territory. It's getting. I mean, there's a lot of workers in here, which kind of hides it, but there is more Polish units there. Do you know what else I'm noticing? I'm just looking around the screen right now. I'm sure I'm jinxing it. I'm sure if I look somewhere else, there'll be loads. Something that we used to see a lot that I'm not seeing is archaeologists. The AI baffles me. Sometimes we just get thousands of them. Every tile will have an archaeologist in. I don't know, does the Battle Royale mod turn the things off? Maybe they've all the sites have been discovered. I don't know, but yeah, I'm just looking around. It's not like I've seen a few and not as many as normal. I don't see any. Poland did retake both cities, so maybe this is about to flip on its head, which would be incredible if Poland begins to turn this around. And Morocco also took those 2 cities as well. It was 4 little pop-ups, so just to clarify what they all were. I wonder if Assyria will attack Poland as well. I mean, there is that city. I'm not going to click down there just because I'm a bit concerned. Panning over lots of units can cause a crash. But obviously we all can see it on the mini-map here where the mouse is, that Poland did get that big city in that weird revolt. So we'll keep an eye on that. But here we go, Poland maybe going to start to turn this around, which would be impressive, as Attila is the one to complete the International Space Station. It's not going to show me because I think the pop-ups turned off. But there you go. They got the gold award, I guess, for the International Space Station. Good job. Oh man, Attila could have such a big impact on this game right now. Like, the power is in his hands. I don't know if the AI realizes that, because, you know, they're just zeros and ones at the heart of it. But they could do so much right now. If they could just pick a side to win. And I mean, if they were really bold, it could probably get away with hitting both of them at the same time. I wouldn't put it past them. While they're still fighting each other as well, you have a three-way war. I feel like the Huns would certainly come out on top of that one. So we'll see. I wouldn't put it past them. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't. But yeah, I mean, certainly if they picked one, I think they could absolutely stomp either of them right now, because Russia is just crumbling. They still have this force here, which is obviously to protect from the Huns, but the Huns have like 5 to 6. Okay, they have a few more units here. But you can see, look, the Huns have like 10 times that. That's just like, that was me panning over like a small patch in the north. Like, this is maybe, okay, man, that's a bit harsh. This is about 20% of the Huns that we can see on screen, including the bit that's behind the mini-map. Maybe a bit less. Yeah, maybe 20. Yeah, there's a bit more east. There's a sort of messy western bit, a south bit, and another southeast bit. Yeah, probably 20, maybe a bit less, maybe a bit more, maybe 22% of their land. And the rest of it's also filled with units. So they would absolutely batter Russia, I think, if that started. And obviously the same goes for Poland, even more so, because although Poland is putting up a good fight here, they have no units on this southern border. It's pretty open terrain as well. I think Warsaw would drop pretty quickly. You could also then sort of dart towards this city and split them again. It could get messy as Russia does retake this city in the north. But there was heavy fighting for these cities for so long, and now you've just got one rocket artillery, one mechanized infantry. Like, they just don't have enough anymore. But we'll see. We'll see. The city's again on the edge. But yeah, it looks like Poland is at least going to hold. For now. We will see. Morocco is not... Oh, Rome's going to lose this city. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. I didn't even think of that one. It's not a huge issue. It's in the desert. There is no resources there. So it's not, you know, it's not catastrophe, but it is going to happen. Still, yeah, they haven't been nuked yet, Morocco. Also, okay, the oil, there is no oil rigs there, I'm guessing there is not, because we can see where Poland, yeah, it says offshore platform on this tile, so Morocco just doesn't have them. Again, don't question me, I still lose to AI on like king difficulty, but these deity AIs are not even using all their oil. Like, it is, that tells you how bad I am, I guess, sitting here judging them. Okay, yeah, that is the Roman city at the bottom. So now Morocco can go focus on everything in the north. This city's actually under attack too. I'm guessing that's Morocco's plains. Oh, never mind. Casablanca was nuked. I do not know who did that. That could have been Rome's atomic bomb, or it could have been... Okay, it looks like Assyria's nukes were not used. So I'm guessing it was that one Roman atomic bomb. Because Assyria's... well, they had 4 missiles, which 2 of them... Phew. Bomber and atomic bomb. The 2 missiles are there, and there was another 2 missiles, which I don't know where they are, but they haven't used both. It does not like me looking at Assyria. I'm not even going over there anymore. But yeah, there was that one Rome atomic bomb on a carrier sort of over here somewhere. I think that's what it was, because I don't see that anymore. And Rome doesn't have any other planes, so it'd be pretty easy to spot if it was here. It's nice and smooth over here. As soon as I even get close to Assyria, it's like, nope, laggy, freezy warnings. So we'll avoid that. Don't drag me over there. As this battle just continues. These two are going to the death. Look at how much pillaging there is when you zoom in. It's ridiculous. But yeah, Poland is not giving up without a fight. If they could annex some of these cities, that would probably really help. Berlin, you know, 20 pop. Be useful, but this is just brutal between these two, throwing units at each other. This is where it would be cool to have the info addicts, but of course then we'd have to keep dismissing all the pop-ups and stuff, and like I said, the aim was to go as far as we could And you know, when I have to leave it running, it's not very useful if I have to leave it running for 10 hours and I have to come back every 2 minutes or 5 minutes to click the World Congress buttons away. It's not practical. So if we would do these ones where we want to go really far, then you have to do it with the Battle Royale mod. And sadly, we're probably not going to be able to go super far because it's already struggling a little bit. But I'm trying. Of course, I have some tips, or not tips, but little tricks to make it a bit better when we're not recording and stuff. Well, not recording definitely helps, and then if I put it in strategic view and then go stare at the corner of the ocean, it tends to go okay for a bit longer. Russia though does retake that city again, but it is just limited progress. I mean, Warsaw, apart from that obvious patch of radioactive food from this farm, is okay. And these other cities haven't really seen any conflict beyond Warsaw. I don't think any units have got beyond this point. This city obviously saw some in the Hunnic War, but like Łódź here has not seen anything. Berlin, since it was taken. Yeah, that okay, maybe not. They were part of that Germany war. Fair enough. But yeah, I feel like the Huns must be thinking about it. I guess for them it's just, obviously Assyria borders them. Maybe they're in their own race to not, you know, not expose themselves too much. Obviously if the Huns went after Russia, maybe they're a bit worried they'd get weak and then Assyria would come from the south. So maybe they're balancing each other out a little bit. Maybe they wouldn't attack Poland. I mean, there's a lot of workers here. I don't actually know why there are workers here. What they don't know what they're doing, just on holiday. Maybe I thought they're not even coming up this way. I guess didn't want to go through. This is a bit of a difficult bit to navigate through Sweden in a war. Germany, shout out to you. You have done nothing of note for a while now. But you're still pretty big and you're still here. You're probably still beating England, maybe. I say that England has their original cities, which probably contributes quite nicely, so they're probably at least equal. Yeah, that was a bit harsh. England did fail, and Poland has built a nice little naval blockade of submarines just to protect their west coast, which is nice as Russia once again retakes this city, but that is about it. As the fighting continues across North Africa, Rome is getting more stuck in this time, and now they might. I think Rome actually took these cities instead of Assyria and has then launched a land invasion, although Morocco used their nuke on Rome. So there's a lot going on here, both sides willing to do it. But yeah, this is going to get messy now. Yeah, this could be bad for Morocco if Rome starts to really push in, because getting Morocco's strength was that every time Assyria would take the city with like one land unit or some boats, and then obviously Morocco's land units, which were unaffected by the city falling, would just take it back, and it goes back and forward. We've seen it in many games before. But with Rome, they now have sort of control of the land side as well. With this wave of ex-con troops that are coming in, they're probably going to be able to now push on, land more of their own troops, and that will allow them to eventually overwhelm Morocco potentially. Morocco could have sent more of these ships over. Ooh, actually maybe not. Spain. Maybe making the decision. Oh my goodness, that citadel. That is. They must have had this one tile and then just thought we want a bit more. That is great from Spain. They have complete access for themselves, but Morocco cannot put their. Well, they don't. I was going to say their Atlantic fleet. It doesn't really exist. It's 3 boats and a carrier. But you know, this little one here outside Casablanca is trapped here. Can't really do anything. I mean, this is a terrible actually. This is kind of a waste of resources, strategically. Again, AI is better than me, but if you think about it, these boats, right, they're only going to be useful if you fight Spain. I know you can get open borders and sort of sneak out if this will even let you out, because obviously Spain's in the way with their own units. You could get out, but in theory, every turn you're paying for these. But if Spain was to ever attack you, these would probably all die within 2 turns. Because they're just surrounded. They're way outnumbered. The carrier's defenseless, both of them. The submarines, I mean, yes, you've got 3, but Spain has at least like 15 there, just surrounding you. And then the destroyer is weak anyway. Well, I guess that just got nuked, so that's an exception, but still. Yeah, it's kind of just a waste, to be honest. And they have a few submarines here, but yeah, I'm sure they're not. Looking at it now, they're not going to go and get into Rome's territory, where there is plenty of submarines and missile cruisers doing patrols and planes. They actually have a lot more in the Adriatic Sea, should they want to send them out. This is just like, look at that long line. It's like a big protection column that they've got going on. Spain now stealing again, another Russian city name, I think, with Perm. No, it's got the little apostrophe after it, but there we go. Everyone's stealing other cities' names. It is weird because you feel Russia was big, but I think they've only settled about 10 cities, and then the rest are just sort of other people's. Germany settled like 40 or something ridiculous. If you look, they went quite deep into their list of city names. 40 might be a bit much. Maybe 25, I don't know. But either way, and then there's other civs like Sweden who've maybe only settled 10 of their own, again, like Russia. England, less than that. They only have 6 with English city names. And I think these are their only 6. They've done a pretty good job, right, to not lose. They've not lost any of their own, so that's quite impressive. I think so. Unless did they settle any like crazy ones? I don't think so. So yeah, I think they've just held on to their original 6. I know they briefly lost Hastings, but overall they're doing okay. Right, here we go. Rome and Assyria now. XCOM scoring. See, this hurts because look, it's good for Assyria that they're finally XCOM scoring in, but they could have done this the whole time. It just makes no sense. Either way, Rome is certainly pushing it, and this is going to they're going to quickly pick off between them most of Morocco's units, and then it's just a case of bringing planes in and sieging down cities with rocket artilleries and the like, other units that can do so, regular artillery, whatever it might be. But yeah, I think Morocco could be in trouble now. Rome's made a good move. I mean, it would really be, if Rome took a lot of territory here, that would tip the balance a bit. I think Rome has fallen, and obviously they do border the Huns and Assyria, who could probably beat them. Spain did beat them, you know, not massively, a couple of cities, but they did win. You know, if you keep doing it for long enough, eventually you will take everything, and they will hit that capitulation point that we were talking about. But that was a long way away, but you know what I mean. If you kept going, it would get there. I don't know if we can get there. We are probably the limiting factor here. As we hit turn 349, as Russia and Poland continue this battle in the Baltics. I'm trying so hard. Got it wrong. There we go. 2 cities though going back to Poland again. This war is just brutal as Poland rolls out modern armor for the first time. The Huns are still trying to attack Sweden. Credit for trying. This is a pretty creative attack. You know, you're not even really close. I guess these cities are kind of close, but still. It's not particularly there. Ooh, okay, well, that is the end of it. Russia did take this city, and then they peaced out, and those cities changed hands. So that is the end of it. That sets us up pretty nicely, actually, to finish this episode at turn 350 next turn, and then go into the future in a world where those two are now both kind of going to rebuild. Because, yeah, Poland desperately needs a rebuild. They've been at war for well over 100 turns. And it's not like they were easy wars. Even the Germany one at the time took them quite a lot of effort. Nuclear non-proliferation just passed, which is interesting. So we've had our fair share of nuclear exchanges. Poland and the Huns nuked each other. I don't think Russia and Poland ever did. But that might be wrong. I might be forgetting. And obviously now Morocco and Rome. And I think there might have been one used elsewhere. I think Rome got nuked by Poland as well at one point. One of these cities. But that, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, we'll get to 350. Then we'll probably switch into highlights to wrap this one up. I think that works well. I don't want to, you know, start making episodes where we just sit here and not too much has happened. I mean, nothing that happened in this episode, apart from the peace deal, technically was any different, really. I think we were seeing Poland arguably turn this in their favour. It's hard to say. Poland is throwing everything at it. Russia is clearly concerned about other civs. That's a bit of a defensive survival instinct. Obviously helping Poland. You know, this war is important to Poland now. Russia were thinking about other things. But yeah, I mean, peace deal is good. It certainly gives Poland a chance to rebuild. And by that, they are by no means a weak country. You know, they will still pose Spain and Rome political challenges. Particularly, actually, Germany could be a threat with that peace deal. Don't crash, don't crash, don't crash. The globe. The globe is always the sign. If it stops spinning, it's going to crash. That's usually 95% of the time how you can tell. The globe actually stops spinning. But it kept spinning there. Germany completes the Manhattan Project a little late, since nukes were just banned. And this game actually enforces that. It'd be kind of cool if you could like still build one, and if you get found out, maybe there's a punishment. You know, I would like to see Civ games up the you know, the political stuff. I mean, we're seeing it in real life at the moment, aren't we? Sort of sanctions, everything, always in the news. But yeah, that would be kind of cool. And one thing I also wanted in Civ is like the ability, not so much, I know you can form alliances, but like, you know, maybe a multi-country agreements and stuff like free trade agreements, more in-depth politics basically. Be my request. Be something kind of cool, I guess, because a lot of the ideas have been done. Like before, when I only played Civ 5, I know climate change was in it before then. I only played 5 and then 6, so I didn't know that, or hadn't played the older ones. But you know, I was like, oh, climate change or climate related stuff, not so much climate change, but you know, the volcanoes and then the climate stuff all was kind of cool in Civ 6. But yeah, definitely something like a more enhanced political one. If anyone's watching who has any involvement, which I doubt, but you never know, for Civ 7, yeah, maybe some way, just a more in-depth, you know, more interactions between countries. You know, form your own groups. Like, you know, maybe Poland, Spain, and Rome could form like a NATO kind of equivalent sort of thing. That'd be kind of cool. But it is whatever. It doesn't matter. I know there's defensive pacts again, but it's only bilateral, 2 countries. You don't have like multiple ones, or free trade and tariffs. Stuff like that would be pretty cool. I don't know. What would you recommend? What would you add to the next Civ? There you go. I'll pose you a question. Drive my engagement up. Intelligent move there. Yeah, what would you add to the next Civ? Go on. What's a feature you'd like to see? But anyway, thank you so much for watching. As always, if you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new to the channel. And I'll see you in the next one.